Hi, my name is Darren. I graduated from Virginia Tech in 2018 with bachelor's degrees in psychology and biology. Initially, I was planning to go to medical school to pursue psychiatry, but due to my undergrad scheduling, I could not go immediately after undergrad. So, I became a scribe for an orthopedic physician, which I've been doing for the past 4 to 5 years. Over time, I've learned that the physician lifestyle may not be the best fit for me, and while I love medicine as an academic pursuit, it may not be a good profession for me. So, I took my love for psychology, along with my interest in being on a college campus and education, to determine that being a psychology professor was a good fit for me. For these tests, I used ones recommended on our assignment prompt, as well as ones that I used recommended from an online forum for psychometrists. I wanted to pick tests that focused on the skills as well as values, as I didn't know what all would be a good fit for me, and I was open to any ideas or suggestions. First was the Holland-Reisig assessment, which showed me to have high marks in investigative, artistic, and enterprising categories. This means that I would do well with professions where there is academic research, as well as a hands-on artistic approach, and a managerial position. This was interesting to me because I've never seen myself as an artistic person, and typically I've always kind of seen myself as more of a follower than a leader, so to be high and enterprising was very surprising. Some of the jobs they recommended were graphic designer, video game designer, and a news analyst, which was also very interesting to me. I love analyzing data and seeing correlations between real life problems, but I never thought about that as an option. So I was kind of taken aback by being artistic and enterprising, but the investigative part of it did go along with the professor route that I'm thinking as I want to do something academic related. Next, I did the ONET Interest Profiler, which interestingly showed the same results as the Holland-Reisig. I had high marks in the investigative, artistic, and enterprising categories. This was interesting to me not only because I didn't expect these results on the first test, but now I'm having two tests showing me the same results. So, again, this recommended professions such as video game designer, graphic designer, and this one also brought up psychologist in this one, which was interesting because the Holland-Reisig test did not bring this up, so this kind of more aligns with my original professor psychologist interest. Finally was the CareerOneStep.org skills assessment test. I wanted to take this test because the other two focused on interest, whereas this one focused on values and skills in the workplace, so it showed me different professions that I would enjoy doing rather than just what I was interested in. This test was also interesting because it gave an example for every like and dislike, so it would show you a better representation of where you fall on the line. For this one, it showed me some similar job examples as the Holland-Reisig and the ONET Interest Profiler, where I had artistic hands-on and a few supervising positions, but unlike the other two, the Career One Step skills assessment also showed that I would be good for professions such as a nurse practitioner or a physician, which is interesting because that was my initial career plan coming out of undergrad. These three tests showed interesting results, two of them correlating with each other, while one was a bit of an outlier. Having high marks in the investigative category kind of went along with my original thoughts, as I've always wanted to do some academic, research, or clinical approaches, whereas the artistic and enterprising categories being high was kind of a surprise for me. I've never seen myself as an artistic person, and typically I've been more of a follower than a leader, although I have had supervising roles in previous jobs. And Reisig and the ONET Interest Profiler both showed jobs such as graphic designer, video game designer, or managerial roles, which I did not see myself as, and did not go along with my plan as getting a master's in psychology and then a PhD. However, the CareerOneStep.org skills assessment test did show that I would be a good fit for a physician or a professor role, which did go along with what I originally was thinking. These three tests showed me that I'm still learning a lot about myself and what I want to do in the future. My initial goal was to do an academic pursuit so that I could become a professor of psychology, but these three tests show me that I may still have some interest in being a physician. The investigative category showing high results goes along with my academic interests, but the artistic and the enterprising categories being so high really surprised me because I never saw myself in being high in those categories. So I definitely will have to look further into different jobs in different areas to see what I may want to do once I complete my master's degree and if I want to keep going with my plan to become a psychology professor.